Good morning, everyone. This is Pam Roberts. I'm the Executive Director at Together We Grow Community Gardens. I'm so glad to be with you this morning. It's a beautiful sunny day out today. I think it feels like it's about 75 degrees, and we're looking forward to a beautiful day in the gardens. Together We Grow got started in 2012 with one little garden over on the east side of Newark. And we started out to get to know our neighbors, and we found out that we did get to know our neighbors, but we also found out there were other things that were involved in gardening, like bringing the community together, and we get to mentor children and other people in the community. We work a lot with people who need community service hours through the courts, so we get their volunteer hours and they get their court fines worked off and things like that. So. We started with the one garden in 2012, and we currently have 7 community gardens now, and we have gardens in every one of the elementary schools in Newark, and we're really excited about that. We feel like we've come a long way in the last 8 or 9 years. So today we're at the 6th Street Garden, which we acquired from another nonprofit about 2 or 3 years ago, and all of our gardens have beds that we rent to people. We rent to them for, here is $25 for a 25 by 25 foot garden plot for the whole summer. And we provide a lot of the plants and seeds, and the garden space is already tilled and covered with plastic. And it works out really well that way. If we feel like people can't afford it, or if they make any kind of a gesture of, that's a little bit more than they can handle, then we don't charge them anything. It's just so people will have a sense of ownership of their property and take care of it better. Our smaller gardens, or actually all of our other gardens, have smaller plots that are 4 by 10, and those rent for $10 for the whole summer. And the idea is to bring in as many people from the community as possible, help them all get to know each other and to feel like they're kind of taking care of each other's plots. And then we also have beds that we use for free U-picks. And so for the first few years of our company, we went to the market and we sold our food, and we decided a couple years ago that really wasn't what our mission is. Our mission is to feed people and to teach people about how to solve their own food insecurity problems. So the last 2 years we've had a free U-pick garden over at the East Main Street Garden, and people would come on like every Wednesday night from 5 to 7:30, and they would pick whatever they wanted to pick out of our U-pick beds. And then we just weigh it, and then we add up all the weight at the end of the year. So the first year we gave away 2,000 pounds of food, and last year we gave away 4,000 pounds of food. So this year we have it at 3 different gardens, and we're hoping to give away at least 5,000 pounds of food, hopefully, if all the gardens work out right. So we're gonna take you over to our watermelon patch, because that accounts for a lot of the weight in our garden that we give away to people. So we'll see you over there in just 1 second. So what you're seeing here is our weedy watermelon patch. And we have probably about 200 watermelons out here, which are going to make up for a lot of the poundage that we plan on giving away this year. We make sure every one of our gardeners gets a free watermelon. And then we also, whatever we have left, we give it the free U-picks. And then if we still have some left, we take those to the Salvation Army to feed at the feeding program that they have each night. We're now in my friend Melanie and Steve's garden patch here. They are on my board, but they also are one of our gardeners, and so they have a really pretty garden. Over here they have golden zucchini. They also have some butternut squash over there, I see. They have a big watermelon, looks like it's about 15 or 20 pound watermelon down here. They always grow beautiful tomatoes in the back, peppers. And last but not least, Melanie said she had a couple pumpkin seeds, so she threw them in the ground to see how they would do, and take a look at her pumpkins. She came up with some huge pumpkins. So I think she's gonna need to pick those pretty soon, because it looks like the birds might be picking away at them, or something is. So this is my friend Melanie and Steve's, and they love gardening with us, and they also are a really great asset for this garden, because when people come over for tours, they usually are here to welcome everybody and show them around the garden. So that's kind of a fun thing. Oh, hi everybody. We're over at our raspberry patch now. And as you can see, it goes all the way down. These actually started out at our Everett Park garden, And when they rebuilt the skate park over there and moved our garden to the center, we had to dig them all up and move them, and they've done really well. They're probably 10 times the size they were 2 years ago. So we've got a lot of really good, yummy black raspberries here that I love to pick and eat. Yummy. So we are in the newest addition to the 6th Street Garden, and it's our children's garden for kids 2.5 to 5 years old. And we've met a couple times this summer, but when our community went to COVID red, we had to stop meeting in person. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place, and the kids love it. As you can see, we have some big funders. Cecil B. Mauger Foundation, Lowe's donated about everything in here for half price, which has been awesome. And a couple years ago, we got a grant from the Finley Smile. That was a foundation named after a little baby that passed away. The parents had started a foundation. So we're really excited about this garden. We have over here, you can see we have a swing set for the kids to play on. And they love that. So there's a place for the parents to sit and let them play, and then the kids they just have a ball in there. That's all part of the 2 hours that we have with the kids for the children's garden. All right, so in the children's garden we have 2 sections. This section over here has strawberry beds all around the outside, and then in the very back we have 5 blueberry bushes that we're hoping will eventually turn into hedges along the back there. So it still has some developing to do. And then in the middle there, past the picnic table, you can see a real pretty little garden bed that my husband made out of metal roofing. And he's made a lot of garden beds for us through the years, and over 3 or 4 years they start getting kind of deteriorating because of the weather. And so we're hoping these are going to hold up for a lot of years. Then on this side, we have little picnic tables for the kids. I love this over here. We have little baby tools for all the kids. And then in here we have aprons and little miniature gloves. We have edible flowers in these tires along here. So that's something that the kids probably have never even heard of before. So we want to show them that, there's a lot of versatility in flowers, not just the prettiness of them. And then we have some garden beds over here that have vegetables growing in them. The little picnic tables, and then in the back we have a really cool feature that is just now reaching its peak, and it is a sunflower fort. And I wish the kids were able to still come right now, but because of COVID they can't. But anyway, it's gorgeous, and it's a really cool place. We're going to start videotaping pretty soon. We're going to start doing YouTube videos for our Power of Plants program, which is the K through 12. Or actually, for these videos, it's going to be for K through 5. And it's going to be, since the kids are not going to be in school for this first semester, it'll be a way that they can still come to the gardens. And we have some teachers and principals that are already signed up to come and sit in the sunflower fort in a chair and read a gardening book to the kids. So I think that's going to be really cool. These are our loofah tunnels, and we grow gourds in here. And we have some regular gourd kind of other types of gourds over there, but these are the loofahs. And loofah, that name probably sounds familiar if you've ever heard of a loofah sponge. And most of us think that they grow in the ocean, which is where I thought they came from, but they don't. They grow in gourds. And right here you can see a little baby one growing. Little tiny one. And then this is a bigger one, and it'll probably get to be about this long before it's actually ready. It actually takes 200 days from start to finish, which is probably the longest known time of waiting from seed to harvest. So what happens is in the fall we have to, as soon as the first frost is coming, we have to cut them all off that night, because otherwise they'll die in the frost. So inside of these gourds is something that right at this point is probably like a zucchini, and then once it starts drying out, which will be probably in October, they'll all be brown and kind of dried, real dried, and you'll be able to shake them, and you can hear the seeds rattling around in them. And then the fruit, the vegetable part that's inside, will be real fibrous by that point. And then we cut them off, you peel the skin off, and you have a sponge inside that is really awesome. And so the children at Carson and some of the other elementary schools grew these seeds for us starting in January. And then once these are picked and peeled, we have a program called Here We Grow Gardens for adults with developmental disabilities, and they come to their classes and they slice these into 1/2 inch slices, and then we put them in soap molds, and we heat up glycerin soap cubes, and it gets real liquidy then, and you put either some kind of a nice smell in it, nice scent, and then you can also add color to it, and then you have beautiful soap that has something you can like get all the dead skin off of your body with. It's really awesome. Your hands get real clean when you use them. It's a cool process. And we plan on selling those at the winter market if we have enough of these. One other really cool program that we have is called Victory Gardens for Veterans. And we have probably about 20 to 25 garden beds that are owned by veterans. And one of them is Terry Storms. She has 2 beds here. And you can see she's had she's got a lot of tomatoes, she's had loads of green beans growing over here, and a lot of cucumbers, and each one of the veterans get a flag for their garden bed, and it gets labeled on their garden marker that they are a veteran. And their garden beds are free, and then if any of them need any extra vegetables, they're welcome to have all the free vegetables they want from our U-Pick. So we try to honor our veterans in that way. The original intent of this video was to talk about harvesting your gardens, but as anybody who's ever had a garden knows that there's a lot of different harvest times during the year. Like as I mentioned before, the loofah, we can't harvest those until, we will harvest them right before the first frost, which will probably, hopefully be in October sometime. In Terry's garden here, she's been harvesting green beans for weeks and planted new ones and harvesting them again, and she has tons and tons of vegetables that she's been canning. One of the things that she made that was so interesting was Christmas pickles. Yeah, Christmas pickles. And they are cinnamon flavored cucumbers that actually taste like sliced apples. And they are delicious. She gave us a couple jars of them. They're so good. So, you know, she's not only can you be really creative when you're canning, but you can also have a lot of food for the winter, and that's what she's been doing. Everybody's been harvesting. There's still lots to be harvested. I don't know if you noticed the blue barrels earlier in the video, but those are potatoes, and we have to wait till those die completely to harvest what's in the blue barrels. So there's lots of different times to harvest, and we have some groups coming in late September who are going to be helping us clean up the gardens, and then that'll probably be, most of the stuff will probably be harvested by that time. We have a free U-Pick here at this garden, and also over at East Main Street and over at Everett Park. And there are 3 different times during the week. This one is at Monday from 5:30 to 7 through mid-October. They are free, and anybody, the word's getting out, and we have lots of people that come to these gardens now, and they come and they pick their vegetables, we weigh them, and then at the end of the year, we just add it all up. And the first year we did 2,000 pounds, the second year we did 4,000 pounds, and with 3 U-Picks this year, we're hoping to have that reach 5,000 pounds. And like I showed you before, the watermelons, that'll really add towards that. And then we also have a big pumpkin patch over at our East Main Street garden, so that'll add to the poundage. So one thing that we have is, you know, you may have noticed in some of these gardens that they're kind of coming to the end of, of life, and people are kind of being neglectful of them in different spots out here. And they're also kind of sick of all their produce because they've eaten so many tomato sandwiches, they're, just sick of it. But we offer them a place that they can put excess produce. And so you can see people have put extra zucchini in. There's some real pretty gourds inside of here, and there will be lots of cucumbers and things that people will add to this, and tomatoes as the time goes by. And so we just take everything out of here right before the U-Pick, put them up on the table. And so there's some people who come in who aren't actually able to go out and pick. And so that's kind of helpful to have extra tomatoes and things and cucumbers for them.